¿Qué tal? Muy buenos días. Hoy en el programa vamos a platicar con Jordan. Jordan Betts es el dueño de I-84 Broadcasting. Y Jordan, muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. Vamos a estar traduciendo, ya que me imagino que solo habla un poco de español, unas palabritas, aunque tiene nuevos canales completamente en español. Thanks for being here. And first and foremost, I found out that today is your birthday. So happy birthday to you.
Oh, thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me on today. It's a great privilege to be here.
Now, the privilege is mine. And thanks again for bringing Spanish broadcasting to TV here in the Magic Valley. Muchas gracias por traer varias señales, varios canales completamente en español aquí al Valle Mágico. Tell us a little bit about the channels that have been on the air for just a few months now.
Well, Ben, it's been a long time coming, bringing Spanish language television to the Magic Valley. It's something that we've wanted to do for the past 5 years since we've owned the stations. Right now, we just have the two channels. We have Estrella on 23.1 and Teleéxitos on 26.1. Estrella TV has a familiar face and voice to, I'm sure, a large part of your audience. Don Cheto is live.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a big, very well-known actor here in the community. So, yeah, absolutely.
And then Teleéxitos is the little sibling to Telemundo from NBC Universal. So you get a lot of Telemundo shows every day. Caso Cerrado is on there. Historias I'm going to butcher this, and I apologize.
No, not a problem.
Historias de la Virgen Morena, and as well as regular season NFL Sunday Night Football.
Nos cuenta de que hay dos canales. En primer lugar está el canal 23, que tiene Estrella TV, que cuenta con Don Cheto, muy reconocido por ustedes, obviamente. Don Cheto está cada mañana de 8 a 11 en vivo y luego regresa por la noche como a las 7 a 8 con Tengo Mucho Talento. También nos platicó de Teleéxitos, que es la hermana menor de Telemundo. Así que hay muchas series que salen ahí en Telemundo que van a formar parte del elenco de Teleéxitos en el canal 26, que incluyen Caso Cerrado, Historias de la Virgen Morena, entre otras telenovelas, al igual que la NFL los fines de semana. So this is something that you've been working on for quite a while, and you're able to put on, when was it, right around the beginning of the year?
Right around the beginning of the year is when we launched and kind of started rolling with it. We lit up the stations just shy of a year ago, built them, got them on the air, did all the technical tests, made sure that everything was solid before we launched the Spanish language programming, and I believe it was right around Thanksgiving of last year when we first put Teleéxitos on 26.
Nos cuenta que lanzó Teleéxitos en el canal 26 por primera vez alrededor del tiempo del Día de Acción de Gracias del año pasado, después de haber construido el transmisor y la planta para que emitiera estos programas. And then Estrella TV came a little bit later.
Yeah, Estrella came a little bit later on 23. And it was, and that one, just the way that it worked out, the way that everything timed out came a little bit later. Both channels have worked out really well for us. They've been well received, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to speak to you more about them. We're over the air only, so just with an antenna, you can't get us on cable or satellite, which is okay. Our entire company runs over the air, and it seems to be...
And that's actually a good thing.
It is, and believe it or not, it seems to kind of be where the industry's been going lately. We've seen declines in cable and satellite numbers, not just nationally, but considerably here in the Magic Valley. And so to have this, what a lot of people would consider old technology making a comeback is really, really cool.
Nos cuenta de que la gran mayoría de sus televidentes, de hecho todos, tienen que sintonizar los canales gratuitamente, ¿no? Porque salen ahí en TV abierta. Y es buena cosa. Así se recibían las señales anteriormente. Lo que pasa es que la gran parte de las personas ya han cortado el cable. Ya no tienen Dish, ya no tienen pues otros servicios, ni menos Sparklight. Pues todo el mundo está recibiendo el canal gratuitamente en el aire. Así se puede sintonizar y así se trata su empresa. And so how difficult is it to be able to pick up these channels? What kind of an antenna do you have to have? Do you have to have a specialized antenna?
It's not very difficult. Outdoor antennas work best. They're inexpensive. You can pick them up locally at Lowe's or Home Depot or even Walmart. A lot of the Amazon antennas make a lot of false claims. You know, 1,000
Yeah, you
miles,
got to be real
6,000
careful with
miles. So
those.
you
They're
want to
garbage.
shy away from those antennas. But it's real simple. Get an outdoor antenna, run a cable inside, plug it into your TV, and aim the antenna towards the intersection of Highway 93 and Highway 25, where all the big towers are.
Le pregunté si es difícil agarrar la señal de estas televisoras y dijo que no. Dice que lo más recomendable es que busquen una antena en Home Depot, en Lowe's, en cualquier lado así, hasta en Walmart, pero que sea una antena para afuera. Y luego hay que conectar un cable con la antena y pues conectarla con tu televisor. Así de fácil para poder sintonizar estos canales. Y también recomienda tratar de posicionar las antenas para que agarren las señales de la meseta que está aquí en la US 93, cerca de Jerome. So how big of an area do you cover with these channels, particularly with 23 and 26?
We cover about 40 miles. All four of our channels, 17, 23, 26, and 27, all come from the same tower site, Jerome Butte, and they all cover about 40 miles with that good outdoor antenna. If you're out further towards Burley and Rupert, you can pick them up as well, but you're going to need a little bit bigger of an antenna. But, we cover Twin, Jerome, Wendell, Gooding, up to Shoshone, Hazleton, Eden, parts of Burley and Rupert.
Dice que el área de cobertura es más o menos un alcance de 40 millas alrededor. Sin embargo, si ustedes están un poco más allá de Burley o Rupert, también pueden recibir esos canales, pero con una antena un poco mejor, ¿no? De mejor calidad para que agarre pues las señales. Y otra vez quiero hacerles un poco de cautela que no compran sus antenas en Amazon, porque la gran mayoría de esas antenas son chatarras, son basura. Yo mismo lo he experimentado. Muy importante que compren una buena antena ahí en los lugares en donde mencionamos. And if you're a little bit closer, it depends upon your area, of course. I actually picked up an antenna for about $15 at Family Dollar, a rabbit ear style that did a fairly decent job. And so I think it depends upon your location and if you have a lot of obstructions on your property, but that might also be a possibility for some people.
Yeah, absolutely. Obstructions are kind of the biggest factor that affects over-the-air television reception, which is why I always encourage people to go with the outdoor antenna. Or even if you have a window that faces, again, in that direction towards Highway 93 and Highway 25, if you got a window that looks that way, you could get away with sticking an antenna in that window.
Mm-hmm.
But just in general, I really encourage people to go with outdoor antennas.
Yeah, the outdoor antenna is going to be much, much better. And then to avoid like the bar type antennas that I have seen sold in a lot of department stores, they're garbage. Absolute trash.
Any indoor antenna that boasts an internal amplifier is going to be complete and utter garbage because it takes all of the electronic noise from within your house.
Especially from the routers.
Appliances, wireless routers, and LED light fixtures, and it just sucks it in, amplifies it, and pushes it right into your TV.
Cualquier antena que que diga que puede agarrar la señal dentro de tu casa, pues estilo barra que tenga amplificación, solo va a amplificar todo el ruido electrónico de tu casa. De las luces LED, también de tu roteador de Wi-Fi, entre otras cosas, y todo eso va a prohibir que tú agarres la señal bien. Así que otra vez recomendamos que pongas una antena afuera. And the cool thing about these channels we've talked about 23 and 26, but in all of them, I think there's something like 33 different choices.
I think the number, 33,
That's a
34,
lot.
35, somewhere up in there. And we're always, we're looking to add new channels, and we're hoping to bring some new channels on. The cool thing is technology allows us to do a lot with one signal. So on channel 17, for example, we've got 10 channels.
Wow.
Channel 27, we have 11 channels.
That's a lot.
It is.
And it's a lot of variety, too. Entre todos los canales que tiene 4 canales, pero hay subcanales. Por ejemplo, en el canal 17, que también le corresponde, tiene 10 canales diferentes. Así que en total, casi 35 solo en las propiedades de I-84 Broadcasting, que es bastante. And I got to say, there are a lot of really cool choices. If you like a lot of the nostalgia shows, if you like a lot of the old-time TV shows, these are family-friendly and a lot of fun. You can watch them with everyone and not have to worry about them.
As you said, Ben, today is my birthday, and I'm 30 years old, which I'm not.
Really? You're a young guy.
I am. Young guy, born in 1995. And
Wow.
I find myself...
You make me feel old.
And not just because I own the stations, but I find myself gravitating towards those older classic shows more than the newer stuff, to be quite honest, because it's just good, clean fun. Me TV, you watch MASH.
Me TV is
Andy
fantastic.
Griffith. It's stuff I grew up watching. It's stuff that my wife grew up watching, and even the older sitcoms on Cozy, King of Queens, the programs on Antenna TV. We've got like 2 hours of Johnny Carson every night, and who doesn't love that?
I grew up with Johnny Carson, so and not only that, Doc Severinsen, the trumpeter, used to be our neighbor when we lived in Mexico.
No kidding.
Well, not exactly a next door neighbor, but he lived just down the street. So that's kind of a cool thing. So I got to say, I love all of those channels. I love everything about them. And I hope people will get that outside antenna to enjoy a lot of free entertainment, because they don't have to pay a single penny for this. No subscription fees, and it's digital. Not like before where everything was analog and all the pictures were fuzzy. It's all digital and it looks phenomenal.
It's a one-time cost to buy that antenna, install it on the roof. There's companies here in Twin that'll come out and do it for you. So if you don't like ladders, it's great. They'll come out, they'll put the antenna on the roof, they'll aim it, they'll connect it to your TV. You pay that one-time fee, whatever it costs.
And it's usually not expensive.
No, a good antenna is going to run you, $50, $70,
$70, with the maybe $100 by the time you put the cable with it. But that's a one-time thing. You don't have to pay it. How much did people pay in the past for like Dish? We're talking hundreds.
Ben, I like to tell this story. I installed a antenna for a friend of mine a few years back. And he shows up, he's a coworker, shows up to work a week later, and he's towing a new side-by-side behind his pickup truck. And he says, with all the money that I'm going to save on cable and satellite, I went out and bought me one of these, and the monthly payment is less than what I was paying.
Wow. Nos cuenta la historia de un amigo que se compró una motocicleta por menos de lo que pagaba mensualmente por sus suscripciones que tenía con un servicio de cable o de satélite. That's incredible. So you can really save a lot of money, enjoy some great programming, and now in Spanish. And it's not just Estrella TV, and it's not just this other. Teleéxitos, you also have, some shopping programs.
Yeah.
You have Ventana TV right now. You have a few other things that are available in Spanish as well.
Yeah, so we have Jewelry Television in Spanish. They're a new upstart network. If you're familiar with with Jewelry Television, they've been great to work with. Great programming. Not only can you buy jewelry, but they teach you how to make it, and they sell you all the stuff that you need to make jewelry. I'm not a crafty person, but I'll find myself.
But if you like it, why not?
I'll find myself, watching it just because I think the process is cool.
Yeah.
And then Ventana TV is a network that originates out of Central California, but they're regional, and they do live prayer vigils throughout the week. It's bilingual, so English at day, Spanish at night. And the pastor, Roy De La Garza, who runs the network, really does a fantastic job,
Cool.
and he's a great guy to work with, great man of God as well.
Great options. Muchas opciones disponibles y nos cuenta que Jewelry TV te enseña a armar joyas. Así que si tienes esa habilidad, puedes mirar ese canal y comprar todo lo que necesitas para hacer lo que tú quisieras. And finally, if somebody wanted to get on to these stations, is it expensive to get advertising on television in Spanish TV?
It's not. It's very affordable. It's very economical. We are fortunate to have low overhead, and we have a great sales gal, who, Ben, I believe you know very well.
Yes, I do know her very well.
Her name is Deja, and she'll work with you to put together a package that'll really work. It'll drive visitors to your store, to your restaurant, to your website, and not only can she help you out on Spanish, she can help you out on English as well.
Así que si ustedes quieren hacer la inversión, no es tanto realmente. Debido al hecho de que no tiene muchos empleados, él puede proporcionar estos avisos al aire por muy poco dinero. Es un costo menor. Así que habla con mi esposa de Yanira, su número es 208-757-7770. Ella es la encargada no solo de los anuncios en español, sino en inglés también. Así que de nuevo, 208-757-7770 para mayores informes. Anything else you'd like to make mention of today as we were talking about I-84 broadcasting and this wonderful news that we have Spanish broadcasting back in our community again on the TV?
You know, one thing I really like to brag about is the fact that I-84 Broadcasting is the only locally owned commercial TV operator in the Magic Valley.
Wow.
I own the majority share. I live in Twin Falls, and it's really an honor to be able to bring these channels, English and Spanish, to the community. And we're really excited about the addition of Spanish.
Dice que es la única empresa televisiva local aquí en nuestra región y por esa razón se enorgullece traerte a ti estos canales, los canales 23 y 26. And what is your website? So somebody wanted to find out about the schedule, perhaps advertising or technical information. What is your website for more information?
ValleMagicoTV.com.
ValleMagicoTV.com. De nuevo, está en español. Solo busca la parte que dice ver en español. Valle Mágico TV, tal como suena, .com. O en inglés, MagicValleyTV.com. Jordan, thank you very much for being with us today, and we wish you the very best with I-84 Broadcasting and a very happy 30th birthday today.
Thanks, Ben. It's been a privilege coming on and talking to you about I-84 Broadcasting. Thanks for having me.
Muy bien.